Hi everyone, my name is Chris Bagley. I'm an educational psychologist and I've spent a number of years working in a youth offending team in South London. What this video is going to be about is the potential impact of the coronavirus pandemic on young people in the youth justice system. The first thing I'm going to address is why are young offenders such a vulnerable group and why now? It's important to note that young offenders are far more likely to have experienced neglect, abuse, trauma, family breakdown. Many are looked after by the state. Learning difficulties and speech and language needs alongside school exclusion are very common, so they're an extremely vulnerable group of young people. There's also a racial element to the youth offending population, and London School of Economics have named this the colour of injustice. What you'll find is that young people who are black, mixed race, Asian and poor generally are far more likely to experience stop and search, arrest, be placed on remand awaiting trial in custody and serve prison sentences and longer prison sentences. So the picture is very complex. Next I'm going to talk about young people who are in custody serving prison sentences. So there are three types of custody institutions in the United Kingdom. The first one are secure children's homes, which are by far the most well rated by Ofsted. They have positive child to staff ratios. They're by far the best at rehabilitating and supporting young people's mental health. 41% of young people in these institutions have mental health difficulties. Secure training centres and young offender institutions have far poorer child to staff ratios, relatively inexperienced staff, and there's an over-reliance on restraint and solitary confinement, which is particularly disturbing. Now, this is likely to be more prevalent now than ever because there will be impacts on staffing, there will be a lot of uncertainty within these prisons, and it's quite likely that isolation and segregation may increase, and the young people simply cannot cope with this, given their mental health issues and complex histories. There are two ways around this. One is to release young people into the community, as has happened with adults. Another is to open further institutions alongside local authorities that are akin to secure children's homes so they can get the support they need. The next group of young people I want to talk about are those who are serving community sentences and living with their families, foster carers or adoptive parents. Some of them have received cautions, others are on more extensive referral orders or rehabilitation orders, and they're at serious risk at the moment, particularly given the economic uncertainty. Years of austerity have led to reduction in working age benefits, unemployment is going to increase, and some of these families really are going to struggle to cope with this, which will have a knock-on effect on the young people who are in the youth justice system. There are other issues around the extensive police powers that have come in. Now, young people in these families who are having these experiences, they do need to get out, they need to move. They might be living in families where domestic violence is prevalent. We can see that domestic violence has increased. Reports are showing that in the media. That's happened already. So we've got to be very careful about how young people are policed, and we want to avoid over-policing some young people. As I mentioned earlier, those who are poor, black, mixed race and Asian are more likely to be stopped. We need to be very careful of that. In addition, we need to show understanding and compassion for these young people rather than the instinct reaction to criminalise and punish. The reason is, once young people are in the youth justice system, there's a tainting effect. Once they're in the system, they're more likely to offend, so we need to be very careful about how this is managed. I hope everyone is well, and I hope the video was useful.